that I listened to on 1.3 speed, and your reading came genuinely sounded digitally sped up despite being a raw recording.
I thought that was good. I honestly thought
Really?
that. Yeah, I thought this sounds sped up.
Is this a new skill?
It was pretty impressive because you didn't hit everything, but you hit most of it.
I do panic with big words.
Yeah, big words. Well, you hit most of it, yeah.
I totally concede that Blair Witch 2016 isn't anywhere near as scary as the original, leaving details to the audience's imagination is always creepier. I try to watch a horror movie every day, but there's only a few movies that have ever truly scared me.
Wow. That's an amazing goal.
Yeah.
I want to watch a horror movie every day.
I mean, it's almost noble.
Yeah.
Hello there, I'm in my car, parked in a lay-by next to a dual carriageway. I'm on my way on a little adventure, a sort of a bucket list thing, if you like. I've always had this weird desire to be on the top of Snowdon when the sun comes up. So, and I realised this today when I was thinking about what I intended to do. In a way, I'm sort of chasing the sun. I'm racing the sun to the top of Snowdon, because as you can see, it's very dark at the moment. It is 9 minutes past midnight on Sunday morning. Typically I would do this sort of thing on a weekday so that it was quieter. However, it is sort of the height of summer. I think the schools are not in session at the moment, and yeah, with it being a Sunday, I wonder if the mountain's going to be busy. I hope not. We have arrived. Arrived where? sort of the middle of nowhere. It is 1:50. Sunrise is due at 5:27 according to my watch. So that leaves us 3 hours to get up there before the sun, with a little bit to spare. I feel good about that, although I've never tried this completely in the dark, so we shall see. Did get a little concerned on the way here because a lot of the lay-bys and roadside grass verges were chock-a-block with cars, camper vans and the like. So I was a bit worried we were going to get here and this nice free to park in lay-by would be completely rammed with camper vans and such. One of the campsites I drove past on the way in, oddly enough my favourite campsite, had a sign out that said sorry, we are full. So yeah, I got a bit worried, but got here and there's 2 cars way down in the dark that you can't see. There's a few cars up ahead of me that I assume belong to the folk who live here. There's a few houses here and a cafe. Cafe's very nice as well. Yeah, but no, fine, I've got parking, so I'm just putting me bracing up my knees because I've got some pretty dodgy knees. And yeah, and then we'll make a start. It begins. Goodbye car, I shall return. I hope. I also have a GPS watch that I've never really fully utilised, so I'm looking forward to hiking with that. I've got a little waypoint mission set for a hike, and yeah, hopefully I'm going to learn how it works, although I'm not too worried because I've done this path before, albeit in daylight. By before I mean several times before, so I'm pretty confident with it. But yeah, it's a bit dark as you can probably see, so I'll pick up with you once I'm on the trail, on the path. It's so quiet. I hope you can hear that roaring water in the background, it's magical. We're in the woods, climbing into the trees. The first bit of this path is like a rocky, gentle climb through the little bit of woodland, and very much feeling like the Blair Witch is most definitely going to get me. I see moving lights up ahead, that's kind of scary. I think it's other hikers. I think they're facing away from me, I think they're going up on at night as well. Wow, okay. Well, it is a weekend, and like I said, peak season. So I don't know, maybe I'll say hello. I kind of want to go up on my own though. I kind of like the idea of that, but we'll see. I think I'm slowly catching these other hikers, but they keep disappearing around corners and behind trees, which is making it actually way more spooky than being here on my own. So I must have plotted a waypoint badly, because according to the GPS I'm getting further away from my waypoint to 583, 584, 585. So yeah, I think I might have mucked that up a bit, so I don't actually know how it works well enough to be able to like get rid of a waypoint. Looks like these hikers have stopped. Morning.
How you doing?
Seem like nice people. Feels like the rain is just starting. I did look at the weather report before setting out, and yeah, 90% chance of rain all day today. So typically Welsh. But 3 things. 1, I have a coat in my bag. 2, I have a spare change of clothes in the car. And 3, I am not soluble. This is the last of the woods, by the way. We'll be out into open valley after this. Approaching 2:30, we're properly underway now. The rain has started, only got worse so far, but it's not like proper raining, it's just a light spray. So, fun story time. I mentioned doing this hike before and failing. I think it was a February or a March. I didn't have a good torch, and I was starting way later in the morning in winter. So I figured I don't need a torch. I mean, my goal wasn't to get to the top before the sun like it is today. My goal was just to start in darkness and have the sun rise as I was hiking. But I didn't have this torch, and the torch I intended on taking last time, I got it out to take it, and it wasn't holding charge. It was just no good, it was kaput. So I thought, no bother, I'll probably be only hiking in darkness, total darkness, for mayhaps hour, 2 hours at most. And my phone battery will last that long, and phone torches these days are pretty bright. So yeah, don't recommend that, by the way. So I set off. I got to a little bit behind where I am currently, and I'm walking, and this path I think has had work on it since, because it seems a lot firmer than it was then, but then it was very up into the abyss. Can't see the bottom, and it's raining harder. So yeah, I was a little bit further behind, and the path was not as good as it is today, seemingly. It was very loose, like loose gravel, loose rocks. So I'm walking through this sort of area, and we're in a big valley at the minute. You can't tell because absolutely pitch black. So I'm walking along this rocky path, and I'm hearing, crunch, 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 crunch as I'm walking. Now the thing is, when your feet hit the ground, when your foot makes contact with the rocky path, it goes crunch. And then when your second foot does, it does the same. But here's the thing, I only have 2 feet, and I was very definitely hearing crunch, 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 crunch every time I took 2 paces. So 2 crunches per step, and I was on my own. And it was like this, except I didn't see any other hikers because it was winter. You know, what psychopath does this in winter? Me, apparently. But so yeah, I'm making my way along the path, and I come to the conclusion that I'm not alone, because there's too many crunches. Now, sheep graze on these hills, so it's not at all surprising that I'm not the only thing alive on this mountain. However, sheep, as you may remember from school, have 4 legs. And I wasn't hearing 6 crunches, I was hearing 4. 2 are mine, and 2 mystery crunches. Now, I'm not superstitious, and that sounds like I'm about to say something superstitious, but if I was, that's the point where I would have got concerned and started thinking about ghosts and Bigfoot and all that jazz that some people believe in, sincerely. So, luckily, or fortunately for me at least, I'm not superstitious. So, but the panic, well, the concern, which grew into dread and then kind of manifested a little bit as like a calm but concerning fear was that I'm not alone. Now here's the thing. I turned up, no other cars here. So whoever it was didn't come here by car. So, but you know what, that's fair enough. I've been on this exact path and left my car parked miles and miles away at the campsite, so nothing to say that they started the same place I did. Now, I turned around. I stopped walking. Concerningly, the second set of footsteps stopped at the same time I did. I turned around, and just like that, nothing behind me. Nothing behind me, no lights in the distance. There's a farm down in that valley somewhere, and there was one light on at that farm. Easily, I don't know, 2 to 4 kilometres away. So that was the only light I could see other than my camera phone was the one way down on that farm. And what I was hearing crunching behind me was definitely closer than that. So I thought, you know, it's just another hiker. I guess some lunatic is doing it without a torch. So I sat down, I took a breather. As you can hear, I'm a bit out of shape and I'm a little bit out of breath already. But I sat down and took a breather for like 5 minutes. No one came. I didn't even hear anyone coming. So I thought, okay, whatever. Perhaps it is an animal and it's gone away or it's stopped. So I carry on. Crunching starts straight back up again behind me. So the concern is growing. And I'm thinking the RAF use this area and some squaddy has been told, oh, go up on the hill and survive the night or something. Oh, we can see from one of our aircraft there's a thermal signature on the mountain, i.e. me. Go hunt it down and track it, but don't let them know you're following them. Full stealth mode training exercise. So I thought maybe that's what's happening. So anyway, this continued on for like maybe 20 minutes, unnerving myself more and more as I go. And then I realised. Now, you're welcome to point and laugh, because I certainly laughed at myself. I realised that the second set of footprints, the second crunch crunch behind me, was the echo of my own footsteps on one of the valley walls that I can't see over there. So I'm literally growing more and more concerned, more and more panicked by my own, essentially by my own shadow. So stopped for a quick break, some water, some calories, and also story time 2.0. Can't see right now probably, but there's like a building over there, like a large building, or what's left of a large building. There's like a little slate quarry entrance over there. There's a big part of slate waste just there, and there's like the path. This is the path I'm sitting on, and there's a ridge. Slate waste on the left, and like the natural ridge on the right. Now when I tried this way back, my ill-fated run, my ill-fated hike, where I had the same Bigfoot near-death experience. Yeah, it was windy, cold, freezing cold, because it was winter and kind of windy. And I got to that little staircase, that climbing up between that ridge, through that V in that ridge, and as soon as my torso got above the ridge, the wind just blew me straight back, like 2 steps. I didn't fall, didn't get hurt, didn't slip or anything, but it certainly caught me off guard. And I figured, I'm walking towards valley walls, and those are sheltering me from the wind, and every time, the further up the hill you get, the closer to the top of those valley walls you get, and the fewer of them there are around you. So I'm going to get up near the peak, and that wind there's going to be nothing stopping that wind, and it was brutally fast. So at this point, after I got almost knocked off my feet, I turned around and I went, "This is daft. I'm gonna call it here." And that's where the failure came from. That it was this dark. I had my phone light still out. It wasn't getting brighter like I was hoping it would, especially by now. And yeah, I was looking at my phone battery. My phone battery was getting tanked, and the torch had been on the whole time. And I thought, if something happens here, I'm not going to be able to call for help because my phone will be dead. It'll be dark, freezing cold, windy as heck, and I might get injured. So better safe than sorry. Just call it. Come try it again another day. And here we are, another day in much better conditions. It's a bit breezy. The rain has almost stopped, but I reckon we'll be fine today. We're making decent enough progress, I think. The other thing as well is having my GPS watch in the dark is nice, because there was one instance where my torch couldn't reach far enough ahead for me to work out where I was, and I couldn't quite remember exactly from memory, because it all looks different in the dark, doesn't it? But yeah, I was able to consult my watch, and although it's not following the waypoints properly because I missed an early one, it is showing me the route that I plotted along the waypoints, so that I can at least follow the line on the GPS rather than the actual waypoint. But yeah, that's story time 2.0. One time I got this far and called it a day and went home like a big baby. But I don't know where those other hikers are. I think I'm way ahead of them now, so I am properly alone. Just me and the sheep, who were staring at me with their glowing, scary eyes. It's just gone 3 AM. Wind has calmed down, rain has stopped, although I am by a hillside, and behind me is just a steep descent into nothingness. Ahead of me is a steep climb into nothingness. I think over in that direction. What direction, Tango? It's completely black, probably. Yeah, that's where Snowdon's going to be. But for now, I'm just concentrating on the path under my feet and occasionally referencing the GPS. And yeah, I definitely have broken a sweat. Definitely not as fit as I once was, but doing okay. Feeling good about making it up before the sun. Okay, so maybe 20 past 3, quarter past 3-ish. We're getting up to a bit that's kind of twisty turning, and I'm going to have to pay attention so I don't lose the path. But I have noticed behind me, I doubt the camera can show it, but what was just inky black darkness is now inky black darkness, but very light grey hue, so I can actually see the difference between sky and terrain. And there's like I can make out one thin grey wisp of what I think is either fog over the hilltop or a cloud. So the sun is definitely threatening to come over the far side of the horizon. It's just now beginning to light up the sky, so you can tell the difference between terrain and sky. But again, still making good progress. I reckon we're actually going to be sat at the top waiting for it. Through that really windy technical bit, but I actually lost the path for a short time. I basically climbed up too much altitude too much quickly. Too much altitude too much quickly. Are you drunk, Tango? Yeah, I got too much altitude too fast and lost the path behind me, above the path, and basically just going up. My watch was telling me, oh, you have to turn 90 degrees left to stay on the path. Yeah. But very confused and a little concerned for a minute. And we're actually walking straight towards the summit at this point. See the lights up there. And the sky is continuing to get a little more grey with each passing minute, as opposed opposed to black. And I only have one more concern. Very near the end of the path, there's like a very, very steep climb, very loose shingle, kind of in places you need both hands to handle its feet. So I'm really concerned about that. So now I have completely lost track of the horizon. We sort of, what I thought was my breath seems to actually be fog and cloud cover. I did kind of lose my bearings a little bit. I got a bit concerned. I was definitely on a path, but for some reason I felt like I wasn't gaining enough altitude quickly enough. So I started to doubt that I knew where I was. So I ended up just kind of following the watch, the GPS. Fully expecting it to tell me to turn 90 degrees at some point to start climbing up towards the final ascent up to the peak. But yeah, so I was concerned for a moment, and I think I am now entering that bit I was telling you about that's a bit sort of like sketch, a bit challenging. At this point though, as long as we're gaining altitude, we're getting towards the peak. So I just chill out, take my time. This feels wrong. Is that cairn over there? So I'm going to keep my altitude because this is definitely a well-trodden path. Tell you what, I can get my bearings if I just have a gander at satellite images on my phone, assuming I've got signal. Just want to verify that I am where I think I am. So that is saying go this way, but my phone, it's entirely possible my phone is wrong. Looks like I've wandered off the path a bit. We're doing okay. Yeah, I think I'm above the path. So let's gently, gingerly walk through this ever-thickening fog. Oh, this is so sketch. The waypoints hadn't messed up on my watch, I'd be fine. Oh, beans. Okay, so I want to be 90 degrees. I think I am too high. So I just want to go 90 degrees, which I've done. Just keep going this way. Problem is I don't entirely understand the scale on my watch. I assume it would change. Oh, hey, hang on. This looks a bit path-like. Am I just walking into a valley? Am I going to tumble, never to be seen again? Is this actually going to be found footage? Cool. I think this is actually the path. I'm on the path. Whew. Okay, so this is the path. So it's just going so steep downhill. In the dark, it feels like I'm going way, way, way down. Cool. Panic averted. Well, there was no panic. I mean, that's kind of one of the things I had in mind about doing it at this time of day, because it'd be just as nice to see the sunset from the top. But I figure going up there this early and seeing the sunrise, if anything goes wrong or if I get lost or if it gets too foggy, what I can do is just find a comfy place to sit down, just sit in place, and then it's only going to get brighter, it's only going to get warmer, and it's only going to get more populated, especially at a weekend. So if anything goes wrong, I'm not like stuck out here alone. for very long. You know, conditions are only going to get better, not worse. Very upset that I wasn't filming just now because, again, got slightly lost. Came off the path by about 10 meters, and it's very foggy, or it was very foggy, and my torch is just not reaching any kind of distance. But you know, a little bit of satellite imagery and consulting the GPS, which I deliberately didn't put a very specific path through this area because I knew it was very sort of like windy and back and forth, and I didn't want to miss a waypoint, ironically. But yeah, as I came over a little ridge, a really strong wind blew in and just blew all the fog away, and I could see the path straight ahead of me, clear as day. It was beautiful. Okay, so just climb over this rock, and I don't have a very exact GPS signal on my phone, but oh, hey, here we go. I think we are on the path. The sun is due in an hour. It's 4:12. Sun's due at about 20 past 5. So I think we'll make it. There's actually no... Ooh, squishy. Sploosh. So, yeah. I think we'll be fine. Ooh. Actually, following along on my phone isn't so bad. I just don't like having one hand not free. And this is this... We're getting up to that sketch scramble part, which the phone is going to have to go away for. But seeing as it's foggy as all heck, and the only thing I'm going to be recording that's worth seeing in these conditions is my death, I'm going to turn the camera off. I thought, oh my god, it's sheep luring from the darkness, white like ghosts. Hey my dudes, how's it going? Can you even see them? Who knows? Oh, I can smell them. Lovely. Oh yeah, we're probably getting steep and loose ground now. Right, the phone's got to go away. Just before 4:30, pretty much on the path. Visibility now though is down to like 2 meters. It's super foggy. I don't know if the camera can pick it up in the darkness, but we are on that sketchy part of the adventure of the path. This is the point where you just gain a lot of altitude very quickly, but not on the most stable ground. So absolutely no harm in taking your time here, especially with such poor visibility. I have actually messed up this hike at this point before and accidentally straight lined it to the summit, which is like a 45-degree climb across this sort of terrain, and it's much easier to stick on the path and go away from the summit, keeping it sort of on your right behind you, and then joining up with another path and approaching the summit from the far side, or kind of the far side. Use my arms for balance. Okay, I think we're a little way off the path, but at this point, as long as we gain altitude and kind of keep this wall on our right, we will refine the path again. This actually feels like the path. It's this part of the path is so vague, it does kind of split off to various different sub-paths. I think path is down that way apparently, but this could be like we're just between two waypoints and it's sort of stretched it across as the crow flies. That's the phone saying. Oh yeah, absolutely. So I don't really want to trend any further right. I want to just sort of keep going straight if I can. Yeah, doing fine. Just have to be careful not to stumble down and fall onto the path. I think making life a little difficult for myself by being, you know, like 5 meters or so just off the path and climbing across wild ground. Oh shit, that's those are big bags of building materials, which won't have been dropped on the path but near the path, unless that is the path and they've just been left in the bags. Just try not to get my foot bound up in plastic and fall. Now, this feels very path-like. Oh my god, those are like laid steps. Woo! Yeah, I think I was just like 4 meters off the path and had no idea because visibility is wicked boo-boo. Every so often I hear those 3 hikers behind me. I think they may have caught me up a little bit after getting slightly lost twice and then going off-piste and slowing myself down for who knows how long. But this is absolutely, without a doubt, the path. And my GPS is a little bit off. I've routed my path through that cavernous fall. Cavernous? That's not the right word. You know what I mean. A fall you wouldn't want to fall down. Oh, we're so close to the top. This is going to be so worth it, I hope. Now, if we just sit up there in the fog and all we see is the fog become illuminated, then I'll be a little disappointed. I'm hoping the fog will clear out as the sun rises, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, the fog and the breeze has made everything soaking wet. I touched my face, my beard earlier on, and it was drenched. Caught me a little bit by surprise. Morning. He's not sure, is he? Beans, it looks like I wasn't the first. We got a pet dog, so it's all okay. It's 5:28, Sunday the 30th, and I have been here ages. So I'm very cold, very wet. The fog and the wind is a brutal combination. I've done the summit, so I'm going to start my descent. I don't expect visibility is going to get much better, and the temperature's probably not going to climb soon, so I'm just going to make my way back. So we're off the peak now, back on the walk-in path. Descending into the valley. We're out of the wind. It's still foggy as heck, as you can see. I think we're just in cloud cover maybe. But yeah, the peak was brutal. Just getting slammed with that wind and the fog. I'm still shaking. Freezing cold. And obviously it's just nightfall finished just recently. So yeah, the sun hasn't had all day to warm the mountain up. Up there, just there, those black things, those are the bags of construction materials that I found when I was somewhat kind of maybe lost. Let's call it lost. So yeah, at some point I was like making my way along this rather than up the path, which oddly enough in daylight you can see. I'm hoping the sun comes out and sort of pushes away some of this fog and helps me warm up a bit. But yeah, it's all just loose. I just gotta take it so be chill. There's actually water flowing down here, which is probably what keeps it loose. Just gently. Solid ground. I think I can be forgiven for losing this path when going by torchlight in heavy fog. That's a quick way down. Actually, it might be the way down. In fact, I think it is. I was like, oh, better not fall down there, but I think I am actually going down there. I believe that's the path. Doesn't look like a path though, does it? I think it might be the way I came up. I'm not sure. I remember there being a little trickle of water, and I was like, I'm just gonna follow that. Oh, I feel like I'm warming up. It's definitely warmer here, and I feel like I'm drying out as well, which is quite frankly excellent. Ooh. My left knee is causing me issues, so that's going to be sore tomorrow. A lot of this is loose and some of it is very, very firmly planted, so just got to be careful. Using hands and legs. Yeah. Whew. I'm not sure if this is where I came up or not. It's hard to tell when you come up in the dark, isn't it? Right, let's be clever about this. Say again? It is indeed. Say again, bud?
Is this still a walking path?
It is, yeah.
Not go round, is it?
Yeah, this is the worst part of it.
Yeah.
It's all pretty straightforward after this.
Much further from here.
Not really, no. Right, this selfie stick is going to get me killed, sticking out of my pocket. So I'm going to stow it in my bag. Yeah, Snowdon. Oh, that was the worst of it. Now when I got lost earlier on, the first time, there's that big cairn. I think I went to the right and started climbing quite steeply, when I should have gone to the left, near this big scary ledge, and followed that very clearly laid path. Of course I can see it in the daylight now, so obvious. So obvious when you can see it. We are decreasing in altitude, coming down below the cloud cover, and it's rather lovely out here now. Look at that. This might be worth looking at. I think this would be a contender for a place to chill out and just watch the sun come up from here over these lakes. We're just right on the bottom of the cloud cover at the minute. Let us resume. It is 7:05. hillside to itself. Pretty awesome. Oh, you can see all the way out to the ocean. Oh, see, there is some bright direct sunlight out there somewhere, so it is clearing up. Although Snowdon itself is still completely covered in cloud or fog. I'm not a meteorologist. Don't at me. Just crossed paths with another gentleman. Only the second person I've seen on the way up. I'm telling you, Watkins Path. It's great for that feeling of isolation. I just passed a fellow on the way up that, and morning. How are you? I'm alright. How are you? And he just looks at me and goes, "Oh, we're living the dream, aren't we?" That has potentially made my day. Just passion. Good luck to him. Tell you what though, I don't think it was worth waiting to see the views after the cloud had cleared. I don't think it will. Not anytime soon anyway. So now you can see it in the day. This is where I got to on my previous failed walk, the one where Bigfoot tried to kill me. I came up here and this stone shifted me from the wind that was coming down the valley, and once I got past this stone or up level with that stone, got to about here, put my hand on it, and just as I rounded the corner of the stone it pushed me back a step, and that's when I was like, you know what, never mind, today's not the day. They're far less scary in the daylight, aren't they? Coats off because it's too hot. Just to reiterate, because it was dark and windy when I told it the first time, this is where I told my Bigfoot story. This is the path I was on, so it's all loose and crunchy, and I think that valley wall over there is what the sound of my steps were echoing off of. So there we go. You can see it a bit better in daylight, can't you? Got a few sizable clouds still around, and some of them quite dark, but I reckon if we hung around at the top for another 2 or 3 hours we would have got some really nice clear sky views. But I don't think I have that much time today. I do actually have to be to work, at work tonight at around midnight, so I need to drive all the way back home and get some sleep at some point. But I'm thinking, hopefully the cafe at the end of this path is open and I can treat myself to a nice lunch, or sort of dinner in my case, because of my weird work hours. And yeah, it is turned out to be a beautiful day. So much for the 16 degrees and raining, 90% chance of rain. It's actually turned out to be a beautiful day. Not today, Blair Witch. Oh. Yeah, back among civilization. Away from the fog, the cloud, and the savage, wet winds. Final step. Hey! Now, we're in a civilized world again. Excellent. We made it. Oh, keys are in the bag. Must remember not to slam this lid on my bag then. Oh, tremendous. Oh wow, look at the hillside. That looked different this morning. We are done. Well, almost. We have to drive back yet. So I might drop the roof now that the sun is up and it's not raining yet, and try and get some nice shots on the way back. At least on the way out of Snowdonia. Feeling accomplished. My knees are purple though. I think it's just light bruising from having those knee braces on. But I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm gonna go home now. I'm gonna go home.